Hey all, John here. Today we're going to talk about some servers. So I recently bought two PowerEdge R340 1U servers. I am planning to use them as a Citrix virtualization cluster. So as of right now, I have a Optiplex 7050 Micro running all of my little virtual machines, containers, whatever you want to call it, on XCP-NG. So I want to move from that up to a bigger system that has some more, space, stuff like more flexibility, and just overall just as a learning platform, just so I can experiment with new things without hitting a wall. So that is going to be the purpose of this video. This is probably going to be a 2-video series. First, we're going to talk about the server, how I got it set up, all the issues that came up when I first bought it, what parts I had to put into it. And the second part would be installing XCP-NG and how to set up failover, or basically just setting up two servers to basically work if one shuts off or has some type of hardware failure, so you don't have any type of downtime, especially with something like a DNS server or anything that's mission critical, at least for, just to learn. That's what we're doing this for. So let's get started. Now, the first server that arrived, honestly, it came with no CPU, no RAM, no perk. The perk is the RAID controller, didn't have that, and didn't have caddies. So first thing you have to do, find a CPU. So of course, you can't just put any CPU in a PowerEdge. So I went on Dell support website, looked up the data sheet, and it told me what processors are supported. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to an i3. Those are fairly affordable right now. I don't need a Xeon with 6 cores, 12 threads, because then you're just gonna increase your power usage, and that kind of ruins the point. I want something that's low power, so I decided to go with the Core i3 8100T. And then it didn't have RAM. I made the mistake of trying to put registered RAM in my system. This only supports unbuffered registered memory. Only supports, this is the problem. So you have ECC registered and ECC unbuffered. You need ECC unbuffered memory. So they're two different types of RAM. They're not compatible with each other. So I first bought registered, didn't work. I was confused. I thought the system was bad, but then I realized I bought the wrong RAM. So I honestly just split the RAM between the new system and this system until I can figure out how to get unbuffered RAM. When I do that, then I'll get up to 64 gigs per machine, or even 128. It really depends. So the CPU max supports a max of about 64 gigs, but if I can get up to 128 in the future, that's where I would like to be, but we'll see where that goes. Now, the perk, if you're running anything like SAS, I already run a perk. It's not really a perk, it's an LSI controller, but basically you get the idea. You want an HBA or RAID controller in these systems. Some of them have software RAID enabled, and others require the hardware to run the SATA or SAS drive. So I had to go out and buy a Dell PERK H330. I bought that, threw it in. There's a little PCI port that it plugs into, and then you connect the SAS controller, the SAS cable from the backplane into the controller, and then you're good to go. So that took me a little bit to figure out, but again, I already have experience with bigger servers, so that helps me out. And of course, my NAS has an HBA in it, so I already had an idea of where to go. As for caddies, those are cheap. Those are like $5. Just buy them on eBay, throw them in. Then you can throw in your 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch drives. I have 4 what you would call LFF bays, or 3.5-inch bays. So I just have to order those. I'm not gonna fill all of those up, so I'm not really gonna worry about that. But yeah, there's that. So when I first got the server, it only came with iDRAC Express. Since I have experience with these, I had to get a trial key for Enterprise just so I can get this set up. So I would say I hope your server, whatever you buy, has iDRAC Enterprise. That way you can remotely manage your server without having to plug in a keyboard, mouse, and display into it. It just makes things a lot easier. So there's that. Now, the second server I got, it had an i3 8400T, so that's good. It had 16 gigs of RAM, had 2 sticks of 8. I just decided to take 1 stick of 8, put it in the first system. That worked out while I figure out where I'm going to get unbuffered ECC RAM from. You cannot put unbuffered non-ECC RAM in, so don't waste your time. It didn't have a perk, but I found out that it's software based. There's already a SATA controller on the board, but I don't think it can run SAS drives. Those are different altogether, so it should be good there. And it had a few caddies, so that worked out. Good to go there, right? Now again, my long-term goal with this system is basically to have a virtualization server that has failover. So it's just for learning, honestly. It's a waste of power, waste of time, but who cares? I just want to learn. So that's what it's for. I'm going to be running XCP-NG, a whole bunch of Ubuntu, Debian, and maybe even a Fedora server here and there. Fedora runs a little bit fast for servers, but just to play around, and I might even try some a Windows server with Active Directory and run that on my network and see how that goes. DNS, blocking, stuff like that. Maybe even some Nutanix Community Edition, because that's out now. I just found out from the Home Lab community on Reddit that Nutanix has a community edition that's free, just so I can learn that and put it on my resume. So we'll do that. Now, first things first, to get this server set up, unbox it, obviously. Hook it up to power, and then connect your Ethernet cable into your iDRAC port. So just plug that in. If you're paranoid, you can probably find a way to do a static IP and do all that, or just put it on a separate VLAN just so it doesn't have internet access or whatever. I'm at home. I don't want to say this, but my network is flat. It's not segmented yet, so I just plugged it in and I got to business. When you plug it in and set it up, make sure that you run an IP scanner, or for me, I just connected into my router, or my router, and then went through my IP list and just found the hostname iDRAC, typed in the IP address that was listed, and then the default password would be root, and the default username will be root, and the default password is usually Calvin. So that's what I used to get in. From there, you'll basically want to reset your iDRAC, just so there's no weird stuff going on or settings you don't know about. Just reset it to factory settings. And once you do this, you can run through a BIOS update. You just have to go to the Dell support website. You can download the updates. They're free, unlike what HP does with their servers. Just download it, install it, and then you're basically good to go. Once you're done with all that, shut it down, and you can start putting in your drives on what you basically what you want to install your OS on. And then we'll go from there in the next video. All right, some small notes. A disclaimer: I did not teach you much security in this video, so I don't want to be looked at as like this is for learning purposes. Okay, we're both learning here. Like, yes, I know how to use these, but this is for learning. So I did not teach you how to set up an SSL cert, so you have basically secure login to this iDRAC. I did not show you how to set up a static IP or put this iDRAC on a specific VLAN so you don't have other rogue employees destroying your server. Didn't show you that, and I definitely didn't show you how to set up Active Directory binding to your iDRAC. So this is, again, this is for learning purposes, for home use. Just take that and we'll go from there. I'll see you in the next video where we set up XCP-NG and load balancing. I may even do some migrations from my current 7050 over to the 1U servers, but we'll see. Thanks again for watching, and stay tuned.